Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode about the movies with William Fletcher. As per usual, I am your host, William Fletcher, and this week I am joined again by Mr. Harry Jobson.
As per usual, how are we?
Yeah, welcome to this week's episode, the final episode of 2025. Hopefully, if things go how they're supposed to, my laptop doesn't just do literally anything to me and just like crashes and dies on me, which shouldn't. This should be out by on the 1st when you're listening to this, and this is the annual tradition of the review of the year. So basically, we're going to look back on the year, on the first half of the year, January to June, and talk about all the films we're tying episodes into. So this is part one. This is the first 6 months, and then next week will be the next 6 months. Harry was saying to me he hadn't seen all of them, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it's hard to.
We'll get into it when we get into it. But yeah, I mean, starting straight up with Star Trek Section 31, which was the most recent Star Trek film that came out beginning of the year. Is this one of the ones you didn't see, Harry, or?
Yeah, I didn't catch Star Trek Section 31.
Yeah, I mean, are you a Star Trek person? Like, do you like Star Trek, or?
No, I've actually never seen any. I've watched The Oracle, which is the Seth MacFarlane spoof, but I've never actually watched Star Trek.
The Orville?
The Orville?
Yeah. So you're more Star Wars than Star Trek?
Yeah, I'm a Star Wars guy, yeah.
I mean, I don't really want to say much on this because it wasn't very good. Terrible film. Really badly made, really just poorly written. I don't understand why they can't make good Star Trek movies anymore. They've been working and trying to make Star Trek 4 with Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto and all that for years, and they finally cancelled that after 10 years on. And to be honest, I don't really remember the film because I watched it so long ago and I didn't want to watch it again because I didn't like it. I mean, I don't, but also everybody agrees that it was bad. I don't think I know anyone who actually liked the movie. So it's like, do we really need to talk about it? Because you haven't even seen it. So it's like, there's only so much I can really say.
Is it just, like fatiguing at all, or how does it go?
It's, it sort of fundamentally misunderstands Star Trek, which really bothers me. Because the way Star Trek is, the original concept for Star Trek is that the creator of the show, Gene Roddenberry, he was sort of like the Federation, like the people that Kirk and Spock and that work for. There's like no corruption. It's this utopia. Everyone gets along. There's no conspiracy theories, conspiracy shit. And that's basically what Section 31 is. It's basically like a Black Ops team, which I don't like because that's just kind of a fundamental misunderstanding of Star Trek. But I mean, it's just very badly made. It's very dull. It was meant to be, I believe, a TV show originally, and then they made it into a film, which is never a good sign when that happens. But yeah, I do not like it. So I mean, I give it a 4 out of 10. So we're not starting off with like a particularly high, place. But then the next one that I've got written down here is Captain America Brave New World. Yeah. I was not looking forward to this movie whatsoever.
I had zero hype for it, and I'm somewhat of a Marvel guy.
First of all, the people making it were the people who did Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I thought was like the first couple episodes of that are okay, and then it just got worse.
Yeah, I thought it started well,
and then it just gets worse and worse. Also, like, they had so many problems with the film during production. Like, from basically what I've understood is they were filming this like just before the actor and writer strikes of 2023. So they basically, from what reading between the lines, they tried to rush the filming so they could get it filmed in time so they could get it out for their 2024 release date that they had. Test audiences didn't like it. They did a whole bunch of reshoots. They just would, like, test audiences were not liking it. They just kept doing tons and tons of reshoots, which, Marvel, they do reshoots for their films a lot of the time, but
Yeah.
It was a significant amount for this one. I went in expecting this to maybe be the worst Marvel film, and it wasn't. It was
But also,
significantly better than I thought it would be, but also it is the worst Captain America movie of like the MCU.
yeah, it really suffers from that Marvel fatigue, I find. Which I understand, like, there's recent announcements regarding the character of Captain America that are going to get a lot of people very excited for the new Avengers film coming out. But but it never used to just be Avengers movies that were big deal. It was every Marvel film that came out was such a big, like, it was an event. You'd go to the cinemas, you'd be like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna go watch. Even fucking Thor: The Dark World, like, that was, people still anticipated that. No one cared about this. Well, literally, when it was out in cinemas, I forgot that it was out. Like, I was like, oh, that new Captain America's out. I wonder if that's doing any well. Like, I find that it's just very by the book. It's passable. Like, there's nothing distinctly bad about it, except for the fact that it kind of just feels like this whole Disney era of Marvel with the TV series and how they're releasing 4 films a year, and it's just like, do I even need to watch this? Because if I can skip it, I will. If it's not
Yeah.
really, like, worth my time. And
Yeah.
that's how this film feels. It drags quite a bit, and it's only probably about 2 hours long.
Look, first of all, I think it's very, very bizarre that they prominently showed Red Hulk in the marketing.
That was so silly.
I was like, because a big part of the movie is like, Harrison Ford, he's got the super serum,
Hulk,
the
yeah.
Hulk serum or whatever, and he's trying to like repress it and not, have it. He's in the trailers. He's on the posters. Like, there's a poster where he's like punching Captain America's shield. It was such a bizarre choice, really, because it was like, why would you show that then if the whole point of if a big part of this film he's gonna turn into Red Hulk? You know what I mean? It's like, why? Yeah, like, why would you do that? It doesn't.
Why would you give that away and I understand why they did it, because they wanted people to go, oh, Red Hulk, there's going to be Red Hulk, it's worth watching.
And really, what they should do is stop oversaturating the market and oversaturating the franchise, because that's the real problem. Is there's just too much of it now. There's too many movies coming out. There's too many shows coming out. Like, that's the problem with it. Is it's like there's too many things they're releasing and making that audiences don't care anymore. Like, that's the issue, really. Is that people? That's the problem, really. Is it's an oversaturation of the market. And I mean, I don't blame people for not keeping up and for not watching. Like, I know people who they haven't watched like the last few films, and it's like, I don't blame them, because who cares? Like, but I it sounds like I didn't dislike this film by any means, but I also just sort of felt like I just, like, we didn't need Falcon and the Winter Soldier as a show. Like, that show doesn't actually mean anything. We didn't need it because
because this film just retroactively speaks about everything that happened in the show anyway.
Like, and I mean, the implication, that we have from Avengers Endgame is, Falcon is Captain America now. So it's like, we don't need the whole arc of fucking Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Figuring it out that he doesn't want to be it, and then eventually, the only real purpose that show serves is to set up the Thunderbolts. Actually, like,
because of
more so than Captain America.
John Walker is in that, and he's like, to be fair, John Walker, one of the best new characters they've added in a while. But it's just like, that's one redeeming element of a 6-episode show, like, that's about 6 hours long. You know what I mean? Like, it's just this weird thing where it's like, look, we're gonna talk about Thunderbolts later in this episode, and we'll be talking about Fantastic Four next week. It's just so weird, like, because we don't know what Marvel's doing right now, and
it's just such an awkward period for it.
Yeah, and I don't know if I've said it on pod. I don't even know if I've said this to you, but honestly, Avengers Endgame was such a good ending that I'm kind of like, well, did we need what came after? It's
Yeah, and it was confusing for Marvel as well. What came after with like
and like
Kang the Conqueror, and now they're going more. I almost said MF Doom, but
that would
it's
be
because
so
I got a big mad villain poster right next to my computer. But now they're going more
Dr.
MF
Doom.
Doom. He just MF Doom. He pulls up and he just says, keep your holes in check. Might want to.
Yeah.
I can screw her if she wants me
I
to do
think that, look, Marvel, there are things that have been out of their control, like COVID, that was, out of their control. They had to change things, like, I mean,
Actor
one thing,
drama.
like Spider-Man 3 was meant to be after Doctor Strange 2. They had to, change that because of the whole COVID. There was the writers' strikes and the actors' strikes. Although, to be fair, they probably could have fixed that much sooner than they did. Like,
That was on them.
That was completely in their hands. I just don't know. It felt like, because with the Infinity Saga, first of all, it was such a great story. It's a story over 11 years, and I really liked that story. I didn't love all the chapters. There were a couple films that I'm like, yeah, I don't care for those. But generally speaking, it was a very good story. I was very happy with it. I was happy with how it ended. And then sort of afterwards, it's just like, well, what do you do now? Because you can't just do that again. You can't recreate what you did with the Infinity Saga. It's just, it's not. They caught lightning in a bottle once, and they can't, do it again. And that's just the problem. And I think also Jonathan Majors being a piece of shit, that was obviously out of their control. Although they could have just recast the character. Like, honestly, I don't think people would have minded if they just recast that character. Like, which, by the way, I will say, I thought Harrison Ford was actually I like Harrison Ford just in general. I think he's a very solid actor. I do think he is good here. I just wish he was in a better.
Yeah, he's rather dynamic.
And I think it's something. It's just weird that he seemed to be. As in, I guess because it's not like Star Wars, or because he fucking hates Star Wars. And look, I didn't hate this film. I will say this is a common complaint, but the visuals in Marvel films for the last few years have looked very, very ropey and weird in a lot of places. And like,
yeah, I've noticed that.
It's very strange, and I just CGI is just. I don't know what is going on with CGI. Well, no, it's because it's like the deadlines, and they're not giving CG artists the time, and also they're not paying them enough, so they don't actually care how good it is. They just want to get it done. And the artists are, insane crunch times. It is just terrible.
Yeah, I also want to mention Anthony Mackie. I think he does a pretty good job as Captain America. Although I feel like as that character, I think that he's never really been given a proper fair shot. This film kind of was it, but he just seems like a light step up from his character Falcon. Like, it doesn't really seem like, and I understand, it's where he'd come from, but like, it'd be interesting with the recent announcements on like, are they just going to is he just going to be a different Captain America now? Are they just demoting him back down?
And like, with all due respect to Anthony Mackie, he just doesn't have the leading man star power Chris Evans has. Like,
that's what I mean. He just sort of feels like Falcon a bit.
Yeah, and I honestly, I don't know, maybe Bucky would have worked better, but even then, it's just like, could we not just retire the character? Could we not just hang up that mantle and just say Captain America is no more now? Because like,
we're doing a Falcon and Winter Soldier film about Red Hulk.
Like, you can do that. Just make Falcon the protagonist of the film. It's completely fine. I think people would be okay with that. Honestly, I don't think people would actually care. And it's just like, it's just, Look, I did not.
Yeah, John Cena retired. He didn't announce someone else to be John Cena. Yeah, I mean, there's our truth, but.
And I do want to say, I did not dislike this film. I really did.
Yeah, well, it really wasn't. I didn't love it. I thought it was okay.
I think what it is I went in with such low expectations.
The bar is so much lower now. Oh my god.
And I love the Captain America trilogy, like the Steve Rogers Captain America trilogy. All three of those films, fantastic. So I went in with super low expectations for this one. And that's probably why I ended up liking it more. It's just because I expected it to be bad. And like I don't, obviously I don't want it to be bad, but it's like if it's bad, it's bad, and the trailers didn't do anything for me. Also, I just want to say the leader, that's the character's name, right, with the weirdly shaped head. I thought he was a very odd choice as a villain because it kind of didn't feel like he served a like. Also, Giancarlo Esposito was in it, who I completely forgot he was in it until I'm just looking at the cast. I'm looking at the cast list now. I completely forgot Giancarlo Esposito was in it. To be honest, the film just did feel kind of messy though. Like the Hulk Captain America fight was decent, but also Falcon is just a guy. He doesn't have super soldier serum, which makes it very odd that he can go like toe to toe with the Hulk. And maybe I'm misremembering the other post-credit scenes, but I really feel like Marvel used to be so much better at these post-credit scenes. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
I really thought, like, because this one, I didn't really care for it. I was honestly just like, oh, okay, that's it. This is very generous, and I'll say it is exceedingly low. Like, it is the lowest possible version of this score, but I give it a 7. And I think that's just because I went in with so low expectations, and I really expected it to be bad, that it being actually kind of decent was enough to give it a 7. But like, if I revisit it, I could very easily see it bumping down to a 6.
For me, it's like a 5, or like a strong 5, light 6. I think it's pretty okay, but it's just very middle of the pack. And I think,
I the thing is, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't see. I just don't think we needed it, honestly. Like, I don't think there was a purpose in it. Like that's the main thing. Is I don't think I gained anything by watching it, but like I didn't hate watching it. But we move on to. I mean, we're already nearly half an hour in, and we've only talked about 2 things. Jesus Christ, it's going so long.
Well, we're going to start flying through.
Yeah, all right. Next up was the Oscars 2025. I did an Oscars special. I watched the ceremony live. I don't know if you did, Harry. Probably didn't because
work. I just work it all the time.
I mean, did you see any of the films that won Oscars, or
which one won best? What won Best Picture?
Anora.
Yeah, I definitely did not see that.
Okay.
I didn't. Yeah. I didn't see Best Pictures, but I know I went through the
nominees for Best Picture.
Yes, So The Brutalist with Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
And then I watched.
Wait, so you saw The Brutalist?
Yeah, okay.
I
watched that, and then because I actually quite like Adrian Brody.
I think he's a very good movie star, and I think he's a very good actor. He seems like he's a bit of an idiot as a person, but like, that's like whatever. I can whatever, ignore that.
Well, that was the idea. Like, but I didn't see Anora, and I know that it won Best Picture, and I know it also won Best Actress, Best Director, Best
Original Screenplay, and Best Editing. So won 5 Oscars.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I should have watched it.
Yeah. It was my favorite film of last year. I was really very impressed by it. But there was silly controversies around it, which I thought was stupid. Yeah, I thought the ceremony itself was perfectly fine. I mean, look, it's not really. You don't watch it for the ceremony. You watch it for the speeches. You watch it to see the films win that you like. Yeah, it was like whatever. But I don't really have much to say on it besides it was just another Oscar ceremony, really. So let's just move on to the next film because we've got to start going through these. Next up was Mickey 17. Did you end up seeing that one?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw that. I think I saw it a little bit after it came out. I just was busy and I didn't have like the time to see it.
Mine was around when it came out. I'm a bit of a Robin Pattinson fan.
Yeah. I thought it was decent. I thought it could have been a lot better, but I did like the movie.
I think that happens similar with what is it, Bong Joon-ho?
Bong Joon-ho.
Because he also did Snowpiercer, and I find that
I haven't seen Snowpiercer. That's one of his films I haven't seen.
Oh, Well, this film mirrors it quite closely in like certain like class warfare ideas, but they just don't. I think it's a bit shallow.
Well, because Snowpiercer is the train one, right, with Chris Evans.
Yeah, yeah. Snowpiercer is the one with
Yeah.
no the film. Yeah,
Yeah, the film.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's the one. Yeah, yeah. That's I think he did the story as well, but it's adapted from the series. But yeah, it's Chris Evans plays the lead actor. There's Ed Harris. Fuck, I can't think of the name. I haven't seen it for quite a while. It came out like 2015.
2013.
Oh,
I
2013.
think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays core cast, but like extended.
Did you see Parasite? Bong Joon-ho's like last film that
yeah,
he won. He
yeah.
also won the Best Picture Oscar for this first foreign film to do that, which was
Well, wasn't it rated as like one of the greatest films of all time? Parasite.
I think when it came out, I believe it became the highest rated film on Letterboxd. I think it dethroned The Godfather, which I mean, I like it more than The Godfather. You know, The Godfather insists upon itself.
Well, it does. It takes forever getting in.
Yeah, Mickey 17. Yeah. I was quite looking forward to it. It was one of my most anticipated of the year. I thought it was all right. You know, I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I just think that it's sort of like the idea, right, of Mickey 17 being that, like, you know, there's clones and that there's expendable people and the rich and the poor are seen as expendable, and like discussions about the value of human life are so much like it's so rich with discussion because it's a reflection of, you know, if you want to look at it of our current society, right? Yeah, I just find that, like, I think Rob Pattinson's performance was quite good, but I just find that it can be, again, I hate to use the word, the same one I used for Captain America, but just a bit dull. I thought it was okay. Like, I thought it was quite fine. It's just times where it felt like it could have probably grabbed me a bit more with discussion, and rather it just sort of like seemed quite like surface level. Like, yeah, it's about class warfare. We understand that. It shows us directly, and it could have maybe had a bit more.
Yeah, no, I think it could have done a lot more. I really liked the sort of premise of it. I like Robert Pattinson, like, in general as an actor. I think he's a very good actor. The thing with the film is, I don't know, at a certain point I was just kind of like, I just wasn't into what it was doing. Like, I didn't have not that it was bad. I was just sort of like, yeah, cool. Can we sort of get on with this? We're sort of taking time, like, it's taking too long to sort of get to this point that I feel like it should have gotten to. And I like Mark Ruffalo in it. I think Mark Ruffalo is quite good in it. I didn't care for it. Again, this is not a bad film. It's just like, this is the thing that happens for me with so many movies, is I really like the premise, and then the movie just isn't as good as the premise leads me to think it should be.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And to be honest, I think, and look, it was delayed heavily from, like, I think this was supposed to come out in 2024. I think it was just delayed because Warner Brothers just does not know what they're doing, and they're selling their company to fucking Netflix now, which is just the worst thing for the industry. Like, the movies are so fucked. I don't know. I honestly, however many months on, I don't remember much from it. Like, and I saw this like in April or something, so that's why. But I feel like a better film, I would have remembered more.
I remember like the ending, the whole point of like, meeting up with other clones and like destroying the cloning, like the printer, and then it's like a vicious cycle, and it's part of Boone's like whole thing where he like tries to discuss how like we live in a classist society still, and how the high class see the lower class as expendable. Whether it's more, this is pretty on the nose, this film, but like Snowpiercer is quite similar, Parasite is quite similar, where they sort of discuss how it's like, but it just didn't feel like it had the depth of either of those. It was just a bit long. Like, it was just a bit like, it wasn't what I was hoping it was. It was below the bar.
I mean, I give it a 7. Like it's a sturdy 7. I remember liking it when I saw it, but I expected more from it. And I mean, to be honest, having seen a few of his films, I don't think I think Bong Joon-ho is a solid director, but I don't think he's an amazing director.
Yeah, look, I also give it a 7. I just think it's it's like a solid entry, but a bit long. Make sure you got the time and like don't expect anything huge.
Following up that, we did an episode on the live action Disney remakes because Snow White was coming out. Yeah, look, I did not pay to see this film. I waited until it was free on streaming or whatever, so because I didn't want to pay because it looked terrible. Because I assume you've seen this. I mean, there's no way you'd like this film, right? Like, surely.
Oh, it's fucking dog shit. And like for lack of a better term, I have a huge gripe with Disney. Like, just going, hey, you know Snow White, you know this tale, right? It's like old tale. We're gonna do it again, and then in 20 years we're gonna do it again, and then 20 years we're gonna do it again, and then in 20 years we're gonna do it again. I'm like, I just truly don't give a fuck. Like, I know the story of Snow White. There is nothing that this film adds that is more dynamic.
Look, I'm all for a subversion of like even like a side story where you tell the story from like a different character's perspective. I'm all for like taking the story and making it into like a comedy, like a farcical, like sort of slapstick comedy or whatever. Like that's fine. It's just telling the story again, and it's not telling it as good as it's been done before.
It's just soulless. Like the whole film just feels like.
I mean, can we both agree this is one of the worst looking films that's like ever been produced?
Oh yeah.
Like
it's bad.
There was all the controversy. I think before the film came out, where like with the dwarves and everything, and then like I believe they CGI'd the dwarves in this film. Which I do not understand. Like, I feel like I must like what? Who was on set watching Gal Gadot act in quotations and said, "Yeah, this is gonna work out okay." Like, who on that king set was like, "Yeah, this is good. We're happy with this."
It's so boring. It's so boring. There's no dynamic. It looks bad. My whole thing is is they know it's going to sell because of two reasons. One, because it's Snow White, and like little girls or little boys or little people or just fucking people who are obsessed with Disney will just go watch anything. And two, they were banking off the controversy of it being Rachel Zegler. Like they were banking on that. So to have it like Rachel Zegler,
Rachel Zegler, yeah.
Yeah. They were going, oh, okay, well, not only will this stir the pot a little bit, which I don't really fucking care. Yeah. Like she's okay, but she doesn't really bring the warmth that like I feel like Snow White as a character should.
Yeah.
But that's not. I don't know if that's against her, or if that's just against like the filmmaking.
Honestly, I've seen Rachel Zegler in other things, and I think she's a good actor. She's just in bad films. Like, I saw her in West Side Story. I thought she was very good in West Side Story. I just think this is a terrible, terrible film. And it's not her fault.
What's really depressing is I fucking love Mark Webb.
I was going to say, this was Mark Webb who directed this, who you and I, if you're like new to the podcast, we both love 500 Days of Summer as a film. Like, it's one of Harry's all-time favorite films. And I love it as well. I think it's fantastic. We did a whole episode on it. Go listen to that. And it's just like, what happened? Yeah. Like, he goes from 500 Days of Summer to the Amazing Spider-Man films, which I'm not a fan of. I just don't know what happened. Look, I mean, do we need to talk about how terrible Gal Gadot is? Like, everyone knows Gal Gadot is a terrible actor. We know this.
She's just shit. Yeah, I don't understand why we keep.
It's just like we don't need to say anything because there's nothing to say.
What does she know, bro? Well, what does she know about fucking?
Yeah, who has she got dirt on?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what does she know that because people? This is the thing, right? It's like it's like Jared Leto, right? How does Jared Leto keep getting work despite being like objective
No,
box
but
office poison. Like people,
yeah, it's so weird because there are parts of me. There are some times that I see clips of Jared Leto where I'm like, that was funny. Fuck, Jared Leto is actually not that bad.
no, I just because I'm like, was she always bad? Like I don't know why, but I don't think people always thought she was bad. Like I swear people were like, oh, she's great in Batman vs Superman, and people really liked her in the first Wonder Woman. Like, yeah, look, Gal Gadot's terrible, and it doesn't help with her fucking Zion, like being a Zionist and the whole Israel thing, which is
Yeah,
like like she was a former IDF member, if I remember correctly,
yeah, I believe so.
which is not great. I don't know how during the production of this, like every step of the way, it just feels like they made the exact opposite, like the exact wrong decision.
I truly believe that my baby boo boo Mark Webb.
I am willing to believe it is not his fault. Like I know he's the director and everything. I do not believe he was the writer of it though, so I can
No,
excuse.
yeah, but with studios like Disney, that it is hard to sort of solely put it on a director when
Yeah,
it's a studio like in the same vein of like Sam Raimi's third Spider-Man film was largely taken off of him and brought to you by
yeah, or
Sony.
like Alien 3 for David Fincher.
Well, I just wanted to mention something in the vein of remakes, right? So
Yeah.
remakes, like there is negative and good and positive or whatever the fuck, but Shakespeare, for example, right? We have direct remakes of Shakespeare's work. And I think tales like Snow White, Cinderella, and that sort of stuff are living as long as they are as stories. And you can use it more as a template. And Disney's done it before. One of my favorite Disney films ever is 10 Things I Hate About You with Heath Ledger, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's a great film. It truly is. That is a retelling of Taming of the Shrew directly. They reference Shakespeare throughout the film, but it is a direct retelling of Taming of the Shrew. Like an actual new conceptualization of the same story, right? Why can't you do that with Snow White? Why can't you do that with Cinderella? Why can't you do that with instead of remaking,
yeah, like make a film,
retell,
yeah, in like a modern
well,
context.
in a modern context without this sort of you can maybe reference like something, but I don't know, maybe it's a girl and she's got a lot of brothers and she's like something like that where it instead of dwarves or fucking actually hire little people as well, but that's not the point. Disappointed. I didn't have high hopes, but it's just it's another one of those.
Nah,
it's just another one.
Another
It's the
one.
worst part about the cinema industry at the moment, or the film industry at the moment.
Yeah, we have talked about, and I don't know how much this has stayed in, but the industry's in a very weird place, a very bad place in a lot of ways. And I remember they said there was things coming out that they were like going to cut down on making like less Disney live action remakes. And then Lilo and Stitch did insanely well, so now they're going to start making more of them. But we'll talk about that when we get to Lilo and Stitch later on. I give this a 4. I don't really remember what 4 to be honest. Like I can't remember what I actually said about this film when I watched it. I didn't. It's bad. It's bad. It's a bad film. I resent watching it. I don't like that I've seen it because I think I am now worse off for having seen it. And I just don't really want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. I give this film like a 2.
I mean,
because it stands for everything.
I think it's fair. I think that's completely fair. I really do. I don't judge you for that. But yeah, we move on to Black Mirror season 7. I think this is one of the other things you said you hadn't seen.
Yeah, I've never actually watched a single episode of Black Mirror.
Do you know anything about Black Mirror?
I understand that it discusses dystopian ideas and it's largely episodic instead of it's an
anthology show by
Yeah.
Charlie Brooker. I've seen all of it. I think it's a wonderful show. I didn't go in with massively high expectations for this recent season because season 6 was a bit crap. But I really liked this season. There's a great episode called Eulogy with Paul Giamatti, which is excellent. Like one of the best performances in any of the like episodes of the show. You've got Kristen Milioti in there, who I really like in an episode.
Mm.
I mean, look, again, it's hard to talk about because you haven't seen it, obviously.
No, go
Um,
ahead. Like, I really don't mind too much about spoilers, and I can ask
um,
questions.
I would say, like, I do suggest you watch it. Um,
Okay.
but like, you can kind of start wherever you want because each episode is its own contained thing. Like, each episode is completely different, so it's like you don't. I'd suggest watching all of them, but if
I'm
you're
not gonna
not
miss out on context on
like,
Yeah, I've heard quite a lot about it, and the concept is not something that would like distinctly uh, interest myself. I will give it a go, obviously.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's really great. I would say the last episode of season 7 is a sequel to a season 4 episode.
Okay.
But besides that, it's the only one that and there's another episode that's kind of a vague continuation of the interactive game Netflix made that you cannot access anymore. But I don't think it really matters. Like you could still watch that episode and it still sort of works. But yeah, I mean, it's really great. One of my favorite bits of TV I saw this year. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. I really like it. After that, we looked at Daybreakers because
Mm.
Sinners was coming out. And I
What?
honestly, before Sinners came out, I did not expect much from this film. I just kind of thought, hey, it's a new Ryan Coogler film. I'd like to see it. It seems interesting. Then the movie came out and immediately was being given like best of the decade, one of the greatest films of all time praise, which I didn't expect, and I don't think anybody actually expected before it came out.
And I'll just play my card. I'm a big fan of this film. I really am. I don't think that it is close to greatest of the decade, but the and you know this. I'm so tired. I really don't like the zombies and vampires tropes. I think they're incredibly played, and I think we're just laying to rest for a while. This does an amazing job with that. I think like our leading roles of like Haley Steinfeld, Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, phenomenal. I like and look. I don't want to talk ill of like because I see myself as Josh Allen, quarterback of the like fucking give me the MVP trophy and married to Haley Steinfeld. Yeah, I think like obviously there's a bit of shock value. There's a real weird motif in the film about eating pussy, which is like
Yeah, I did not expect this film to be like.
as smutty as
Yeah, there's that clip that's been going around where she's talking to the one of the brothers that she was like with before, and she's saying, "Oh,
what is it,
you,
smoke or stack?
yeah." And
It
she's
was
like, "Oh, you
smoke.
went down on my coos, and then fucked me so hard, I thought you changed your mind." And I'm like, "Wow, okay." I was like,
I love that scene. I would go to
"Damn."
bed listening to this. I say that. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's awful. I see, like personally, right? I actually thought like it was quite dynamic. It did a really good job sort of
Mm,
handling the vampires concept. I
mm,
like the sort of connection between the Irish.
mm.
I like that it's a period piece. I think it works quite well.
Yeah.
At the time, I think the whole end bit is a little, but I love that it takes place in a day, pretty much,
Mm,
relatively like the main conflict. I
yeah.
sort of love how dynamic both of the leading characters can be, considering they're both Michael B. Jordan. Like, I love
I
how
thought
well
like,
he
yeah,
plays
the
both.
CGI with that, it was completely seamless. And apparently they built like a whole new rig for it where they had like Michael B. Jordan and he ran about like a ring of like cameras or something, I think it was on it. Yeah, so I've seen this movie twice actually, which is I don't watch movies again that often. I saw it once in the theater not like sort of like a few weeks after it had come out. I didn't see it like immediately, so I went in with all the hype. I don't think that helped.
Yeah.
I did like it, but I didn't love it. And then I rewatched it relatively recently, and I liked it a lot more on the second watch. I still don't think it's I think it's a very good film and there's a lot of great stuff to it. I just don't think it's like an all time banger film. Like it wouldn't be like near
Yeah.
my best of the decade list, for example. But yeah,
Yeah.
I do like it on just like a technical level. I think this is such a phenomenally well made, like in terms of the direction. I think it's
It looks great.
probably the best directed film of the year. The cinematography, I believe they shot it like completely on IMAX cameras, and it
Yeah.
looks
Oh, there are scenes where it scopes out from like it plays with the format, and I love that when you rewatch it digitally
yeah,
because you can rewatch it and then it gets rid of the black bars and goes in that IMAX format. It looks so like I love those scenes. It's great filmmaking
yeah,
because it's a really great like way to visually speak to your audience without having to hold their hand. You can be like, yeah, no, you need to see this. And it's like, I love when a filmmaker does that. It feels like almost a direct conversation with them
yeah,
because they're
like
telling
yeah.
you to see something. They're showing you.
Yeah, there's that moment sort of when they're sort of making their last stand, like the remaining humans, and they're in the tavern, and there's like the camera like pulls back so you can
Yeah.
get them all in the shot, and it goes into IMAX, which I think is great. I
Yeah.
really like that. It's a beautifully shot film, like cinematography. It's outstanding. Yeah, it's very well made. I think performances, they're all great.
I like the discussion of like culture in this, where the
Yeah.
blues is a synonym of like, and look, the vampires are a representation of white Westerners, really. I think that the idea that they're a cultural vampire is what the commentary is.
Mm,
You can live forever if you just let us feed off of this. Like,
yeah.
and I think that it's a really good sort of like mirror of our current society and black culture, and the blues is a really good example. They love the blues, they just hate the people who make them.
Mm,
And yeah, it's a great example because
mm,
they'll love the culture that we make, whether it's and they visually display it, whether it's twerk music or fucking like blues or it's this or it's that.
mm,
There's a really great scene actually in the mill, but it's about like, would you rather someone because there's also KKK
mm,
quite heavily quite
yeah.
featured in this film. Would you rather someone eradicate culture completely or be a vampire because you can only have either one? That's what this film is saying. You
Mm,
can live forever if you let us feast off you, or if you believe that you should keep that culture to yourself, then like you're a dying breed. And that's what this film is saying. Not that I agree with what it's saying, but like it's
mm,
commentating on that idea.
yeah.
And I think that it's quite good. Like I think that it adds quite a bit of like depth to the film outside of it not only being visually and entertaining, but also just like well paced,
Mhm.
like high action, relatively
I mean, yeah, there was a
boring.
scene in it that everybody was talking about, and it's like the musical number, basically, where it's like going
Yeah,
through history, basically, and it's like the evolution of black people music, I'd say.
like
Um,
culture. Yeah,
yeah, and it's really and not that I think it's like one of the greatest things I've ever seen or anything, but I think the music in this film really helps to elevate the film. I really like the music, like the score and the songs are both really good because the film has a bunch of different endings. I don't think many of
yeah.
them work that well. Yeah. I don't like the final, very final scene, like sort of the almost post credit scene where it's the one like surviving guy, and then we find out, oh, this Haley Steinfeld and Michael B. Jordan. I like that's I look, all the different endings are like kind of like fine in their own sort of like they're all like they're decent and everything, but they're also like I don't know, the film builds up to a certain point, and then it's real, and then it's really great, and then I'm just sort of like, well, it just doesn't quite give me the most satisfying conclusion. It's really good, and like I think it's great that this film came out and was so successful and did so well. I remember that Variety were trying to make it seem like this film wasn't actually that big, like that successful, which I think is fucking ridiculous, and fuck them for that, because like you can't complain then that no original films are being made when you're down. And it's like, and I'm like, look, I don't want to say it's like a racial thing because that just seems very reductive, but also it very much seems like it is, because I don't know
Yeah.
why else, like what else would be.
Well, what do you have against the film?
It's just very weird. But I do really like it. I think it's a very good film. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree. I think an 8 is exactly my rating. I think it slots perfectly. I don't think it's generational, but I think it's a great film, and you should, if you have the chance to watch it, watch it.
Then we move on to Thunderbolts. It's the next thing. The second of 3 Marvel films we will be talking about. Well, the second of the 2 we're talking about this week, and then we're talking about the third one next week. I went in very low expectations. The trailers didn't really do much of anything for me. Like, I thought it looked fine. I wasn't that excited for it, really. And, I mean, I don't know about you, but I was kind of pleasantly surprised by how much I did actually like this movie.
It was good. It feels good. I think there are some bits where it's like, okay, sure. Like, they cry a lot, and it's like...
And
it's like, but other than that, I think like Sebastian, like I'm a big fan of Florence Pugh.
I mean, I was very surprised with how much I liked, because I remember the reviews came out like a couple days before I saw this, and I was just like, yeah, really? Is it? I was like, it's not that good, is it? And then like I saw it, I'm like, oh, it actually was pretty good. Yeah, guess they were right, and I think generally people were very impressed by it and liked it quite a lot. And I didn't, honestly, I don't think anybody was like expecting that. Honestly, like I don't.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people listening have probably heard quite a bit of praise, considering, again, the bar for Marvel right now is quite low. But this does a good job regardless of that. I just think that it is not without flaw. You would have heard a lot of praise, but flaws, pace is quite slow.
It's got issues with it. It's, I think,
formulaic, and some of the characters are quite underdeveloped.
I think
like
that
it really kind of focuses on like John Walker, Sebastian Stan's character, like Bucky, like Yelena, and Red Guardian, and it's like everyone else is just sort of like seems like a bit of an afterthought.
Yeah, and I mean they kill off Taskmaster like 5 minutes into them being in the film, like.
Which is so because I love Taskmaster as a character. He's such a strong Spider-Man villain, and you just that's my biggest.
That's the thing, right? Is it's like Taskmaster, like in the Insomniac Spider-Man games, like you've got like a big side quest basically with Taskmaster in those games.
But they're a part. Like it is still quite strong. It's quite a strong entry. I fucking hate the whole like. The Thunderbolts, Asterix, the New Avengers. Fuck off. Pick a name. I'm sorry. I hate it.
I don't. Yeah, there were so many theories of like, why is it Thunderbolts with an asterisk on the end? Because I was just sort of like, I don't really get it. Like, and then we find out that this is the New Avengers team, and I'm like, huh.
Let it be the Thunderbolts. Like, let it be the. Like, I don't, like, I understand.
Yeah.
Again, and I like some of the characters, but you're still out there with characters like Captain America, which I think, honestly, you could have cut out some of the shit, like some of the fat that makes this film quite slow, added Anthony Mackie's character, Captain America, and it would have been a great Captain America Thunderbolts entry together. But Like, yeah,
Yeah,
because like they
like
kind of exist in this same
yeah.
sphere at the moment.
Yeah, and also I was kind of expecting Harrison Ford to be in it because it's named after his fucking character.
Yeah,
Like
Thunderbolt
it
Ross.
is, yeah. And I was like, and I swear when they first announced they're making this, they're like, "Oh yeah, no, Harrison Ford's in this," and I'm like, right, well he's not, which is just so
Yeah,
weird. Like
it feels like a weird like they've
again, it just
taken
feels like
like,
something that
they had one. It feels like they had one big concept and which would have been a great film, and they chopped it up into one pretty good film like for Marvel, one okay film for Marvel, and an okay TV
I
show.
think the thing is it's just like again, it's just like I just don't know what the fun they're doing, and no one knows what they're doing. To be honest, no one knows what's going on with them.
But yeah,
like look, Taken as its own thing, like because you kind of that's kind of how I am taking this film as its own
yeah,
thing. I think it is very good. When I say very good, I look, it was considerably better than it was better than it had any right to be. I mean, do you have any sort of also Lewis Pullman actually, which I feel like we should kind of touch on quickly. I did like him actually. I thought he was very solid.
yeah.
I liked him in this. I was not expecting this to be a film that sort of is like about depression, basically. Like I didn't expect that. And it's not
Yeah,
like
and
it's
it's
a
nice
it's
to
a
see them
yeah
discuss. Yeah,
yeah.
but even like because a lot of the time, and the reason I think this film works quite well is because it discusses human issues with superhuman characters,
Mm,
like yeah, relatively, like,
yeah.
and that's what the best Captain America films used to do, and this feels in that sphere. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Um,
yeah,
but the like it used to discuss like issues of humanity and like what it means instead of like, we got to stop Thunderbolt Ross from becoming the Hulk. It's like it used to discuss something, and I think like I, it does in this film, even if it's lightly, but it's sort of bringing back to Marvel. Yeah, always dealt with big aliens and fucking superheroes and stuff, but it was always about a greater human issue that an individual might have, or a discussion about humanity. Whereas
yeah,
like lately, what is taken away from that is that it hasn't had any of that. And
yeah,
that's why it starts to become very formulaic and very dry and very like, oh, now it's coasting on the characters rather than
mm,
the story. This feels less about the characters and more about the story because it's all new
mm,
characters. So, like, what are they? Not all new, but like, it's a
mm,
new team. Um,
mm,
but yeah, personally for me, I was quite a strong 7.
mm.
I think it was quite good.
Yeah. I'd give it an 8. Again, I don't know how that would hold up to a rewatch, but I really enjoyed it. I thought, and I yeah, I went in again lowish expectations, and it was a lot better. Also, it's definitely much better than Captain America 4 because
Mm.
like it isn't like an absolute fucking mess of a film like that is. We move on to I think we're probably not going to have much to say on this one. Lilo and Stitch live action.
Yeah, this will be like 2 minutes. It's not as good as like the
Yeah,
animated
I
Lilo
mean, yeah.
and
Do
Stitch
you just
film
want
is
to
one of the best.
say because you didn't join me for the Lilo and Stitch episode? Just want to like quickly give your
Yeah,
thoughts on that
quickly.
film, and then we'll get into this. Like,
Lilo and Stitch, the original animated film, is one of the best animated films of all time. It is an incredibly beautiful story. It is laugh out loud funny. It is incredibly dynamic, paced really well, probably about an hour and a half. It is so both gut wrenching and heartwarming at the same time. Big when it needs to be, small when it needs to be. Hilarious opening. The character Stitch, who I think says "Ohana" means family, like that's the most English he speaks in the entire film, is like incredibly well. Yeah, not only funny but dynamic as a character. It is one of their best original works, I think. Period. And not about like how solid it is as a story. It is a great film. I've never met someone who doesn't like Lilo and Stitch. It like it,
I mean, yeah,
and I think but like the Lion King, for example, I think had, I'm not even sure how long that film is, but I think it has trouble with pacing at times. Which is a thing that I talk about quite a bit, like pacing in films. But it's incredibly important when you're committing to watching a film. What are your thoughts on the original film, William?
I mean, I did do an episode on it, so if you want to go listen, just to get my full in-depth thoughts. I do like it. I think in terms of Disney, it's decent. I will say, in the context of when it came out, it was one of the few good Disney films from the 2000s.
The live action film, however,
honestly, that's kind of how I felt. Like I didn't hate it when I watched it.
Yeah, it's okay.
I will say
it's still Lilo and Stitch. It's just
it making $1 billion. I don't like. That's not good because they're just gonna keep doing this now. After they,
I hate for what it stands for. I hate what this film is. It's like, don't give me Lilo and Stitch again.
But I don't need to ever like watch it again. Like honestly, I like I've seen it, and I don't need it like to have watch it again. But like, I didn't have a real problem with watching it. I think that look, it's one of the better live action remakes, but like the bar is so low that it's like it probably like it being one of the best live action remakes is like you know.
I just don't think it holds it like I just don't think it really like it. For me, the first film is like quite hard. The animated film is perfect. Like, and I understand it isn't for everyone, but for me, like it has this tone that just is kind of carried over in the live action a little bit. But like, I hate for what these live action remakes stand for, and it always affects my rating. But I just think it's
look. I will say it existing and it being successful is part of the problem with the industry right now. But I give it a very low 6. Like I didn't have any real problems with like it while I was watching it. It's just like, you know, what it is and what it represents. I'm not yet a fan of. And
I 100% agree with you, William, on basically all sentiments. I think it's okay. I just think that like, don't support it financially. You're supporting like, as much as I fucking love Lilo and Stitch, it is just, it was so good because of what it was like, and I think that the live action remake is just a bit like, I think like the performances do well, especially for child actors and stuff, and like all well and good, but it's just it's disappointing. And not about the filmmaking. The filmmaking's okay. Like some of the choices they make is a bit Like I quite like a lot of the like I don't know. You're fucking with my baby, you know. You're fucking with a good recipe. So yeah, I just think it's all right. I like Zach Galifianakis' Jumbo. I thought that was fine. I always thought that Samuel L. Jackson would have played a really good Cobra Bubbles. We didn't get that, and that was disappointing. But like, it's okay. It's a 6. Like it's look, if you want to watch Lilo and Stitch, watch the animated one.
Then we did. Well, I covered Mission Impossible. Do you have any? Do you want to just quickly get your thoughts out on the Mission Impossible film? I assume you would have seen them.
I it's one of those ones that I watch kind of in a similar vein nowadays to like Fast and Furious, where it's like I've watched all the other ones. You know what I mean? Like, but it's okay. Like,
like they're good. They're solid.
It's always going to be great action. You're kind of just watching like. I know I said this about Avatar, and I stand by it that Avatar is just a VFX showcase. Mission Impossible is just kind of an action showcase.
It's like Tom Cruise. It's a Tom Cruise. And just trying to see how he can maybe die on screen. So this film, first of all, this film is 2 hours and 50 minutes long. I was sat in the cinema, and the last film, the Dead Reckoning, they called it Part 1, and then it wasn't Part 1. It was just Dead Reckoning, which I fucking
hate that.
Yeah, not a particularly great title. This fucking movie, I saw it in the cinema. I saw it with my mum. You know, we both wanted to see it. She leans over to me at a certain point and it's like, they could have really cut this down. Like, this is too long. And like both me and my mum agree, it is way, way too long. It is a near 3 hour action film, and action films should not be that long. Okay, I am sorry. Action films should be like a push 2 hours long. Like that's why Transformers. I mean, Transformers is terrible for a lot of reasons, but they're all 2.5, 2 hours 40 minutes long. It is ridiculous. This movie,
Yeah.
it's just so boring. You could have, I guarantee, they could have cut this down to 2 hours, and it would have been much better.
And it's just some generic, like, it's so formulaic, right? Like, it's just a generic plot line about AI, evil AI, and then it's
Yeah.
him doing fucking like wing walking on a plane, and
Yeah,
he's a phenomenal action star, but I want to just use it as like a Mission Impossible has lost its personality in the same way that I think Fast and the Furious has, and where it's just become an action showcase. And a great difference of that is what was the recent Top Gun film?
Top Gun Maverick,
year. Yeah,
which I remember you were a very big fan of.
Yeah, it's quite a long film, but like it justifies that. It through character relationships and stuff. You don't get fucking any of that in Mission Impossible. You want depth? No. But check it out. He's gonna hang on the fucking door of a cargo ship, and he's actually doing it.
And like, there's the submarine sequence in this film where it's like, okay, it just goes on too long. I was just sat there watching this like sequence where he's in like this submarine that's like flooding. I was just sat there and I'm like, fucking hell, the scene is still going on. What are we doing here, guys? Like, come on, this is so long.
Yeah.
Look, as a finale to this franchise, I was just like, I mean, it's fine, but it's like I don't. For a finale of a franchise,
the only reason it's ending is Tom Cruise is like 65.
Yeah, he's too old to do this anymore, and like I get it. He's gonna be doing Top Gun 3 instead, eh? Look, the action sequences, I really enjoyed the stuff on the plane towards the end. I thought it was really funny when the bad guy, he like lets go and he's got the parachute and he just fucking whacks his head on the end of the plane. And I was like, see, the weird thing
That's actually a good bit of visual comedy, to be fair.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. As I was watching it, I was like, I laughed and I was like, oh, that's funny, but I'm also like, is that meant to be?
Did he actually? Yeah.
What I was just like, is this actually meant to be funny, or is it just that was something I wondered, like how much of this was intentional? Honestly, I felt very deflated after watching it. Like,
yeah, it's just okay.
And
like it's kind of a fucking. It is pretty boring.
Yeah, I was just like, this is really the end of the like, really, this is what they did with, like, this was the ending.
It's such a large franchise.
Yeah, and I'm like, did people, like, I think the reviews were kind of, they weren't, like, amazing reviews. Like, I don't know if they were necessarily bad, per se, but they certainly weren't, like, they got an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, that's decent. I just don't, to be honest, I don't think anybody talked about it really. Like, I saw it, and that was kind of it. I mean, I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it's like a 6 for me.
Next up was Mountainhead. I don't know if you had the chance to watch.
I didn't get the chance to watch this.
I'm just wondering, how much of Peep Show have you gotten through since? Because we were talking about, Jesse Armstrong, creative Peep Show, and when we talked about that, you were making your way through Peep Show. I don't know how much you have seen since then.
I've seen quite a bit. Like, I think last time we spoke about it, I was like season 2, like the back end of season 2, early season 3. I think now I'll have to check my what I use to watch it. I'm not going to let out my secrets, but but yeah, I think I'm around. Like, I'm not far off finishing it. I think I'm around season 6, season 7. Not trying to do the joke, but like, they're not long seasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're 6 episodes. Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, I love Peep Show. I think it's a fantastic show. It's one of my favorite shows ever, honestly. And from my memory, you were
I was enjoying it.
You were enjoying it. Yeah, so but you didn't see this film. Basically, the only reason I wanted to was I was like, it seems interesting, and it's directed and written by the guy who created Peep Show. Yeah, I was very disappointed with it actually. I like a lot of the people in it. Steve Carell is in it, and I think he's a phenomenal actor. You've got Jason Schwartzman in it, who I really like. I just don't really know. I don't know what was happening. I just don't know what was happening. It goes into some very, very strange directions. It becomes like this weird horror thing in sort of the second, which I don't really get, and I don't really think I like. It felt like a real waste of a concept. Honestly, I think it didn't really. I mean, it's like a TV movie, but it just feels so. It just felt like he didn't have anyone sort of looking over his shoulder, being like, "Oh, we like checking the writing." Because I think they announced it and filmed it like a few months before it actually released. Like, so they sort of the
Yeah.
turnaround for making it was very, very quick. It was just it was just a really big letdown. Honestly, I went in with decent expectations. I was hoping for a really solid film, and it didn't really work. And it doesn't really do anything. It starts like it's like the premise I quite like, and then it just sort of goes off the rails relatively quickly. And yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I was very disappointed in it. I give it a 5 out of 10. Next up is Elio. One. Did you saw this one, right?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. It was like a good, like I thought, like if I was a younger kid, I'd probably enjoy it. I think it is not one of those animated films that can sort of cater to both audiences. I'm a fan of Brad Garrett. Thought he was okay. Like voice actor wise, I always liked him, and everyone loves Raymond.
Like it's very disposable Pixar. I did not have a problem watching it. I liked it. I just don't. It's just
It's just not that. It's not like it's not what Pixar used to be.
Yeah, it's just sort of Pixar's just in this place now where like their films are like they're decent, they're watchable. I don't have an issue watching them, but I'm just like I don't.
Yeah, I thought the pacing. I thought the pacing of this film was great. I thought it was relatively entertaining. It was just sort of like, okay,
Yeah,
like maybe if I watched it with my nephew or something.
yeah. No, it's very watchable. It's very like for like it's, but it disposable sounds a bit harsh.
Like, but I wouldn't say Ratatouille is disposable. This could be like a kind of an anything story. It
Yeah,
doesn't really,
this is
like,
the kind of
stay
film
with you.
where I
It's-
watch it, I enjoy it, I think it's good. I never feel a desire to watch it again because it is
Yeah, and
like
it doesn't really. It doesn't pull me emotionally like something like Coco does. Oh,
no.
Coco.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's like it's a very watchable film. Like kids will probably really like it. It didn't make that much money because Disney are kind of trying to bury it for some bizarre reason that I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know why Disney is so intent on burying all their like new original films. Like it's just a very bizarre choice. I don't know what Pixar's doing anymore. I'm very disappointed with what they do now because not that they like. I mean, for fuck's sake, Toy Story 5 is out next year. Yeah, I give it a 7. It's very
Yeah, it's like a 6.
it's
to
like
me,
a very
yeah.
stock 7, but yeah, it's just yeah.
Yeah, to me, 6 is middle of the ground. 7 is pretty good, actually. Like, I'd probably rewatch.
The How to Train Your Dragon live action remake. I mean, I genuinely I didn't go in with particularly high expectations. I didn't expect much from it. I believe it got very good reviews when it came out. It's got a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, what in the fuck is that? Because honestly, rewatching it, I was like, oh, they literally just took the script from the original.
That's what I mean.
And
It's
I'm
like,
like,
it's just DreamWorks doing it now, and I love DreamWorks, and I'm fucking pissed off.
yeah,
I'm pissed off
that's it.
that
That is true. You
this
are a big DreamWorks person.
This is the third live action remake film we've talked about for review of the year. Like, what are we fucking talking about? I don't know how to put into words how much it annoys me. The live action remake, which again is going to be good because it's just but it's a clone, it's a copy. It's just like I don't why. Like,
and
what's the point? What is the point? What's the point besides money?
yeah, there's that's the thing. Like, what is the like from an artistic decision? Like, how does
how does it justify?
How does that fulfill someone as like an
artist?
Like, that's it. Like, I just don't think I'd feel fulfilled as an artist if this was what I was making.
It's literally like you've taken a film and put it through a filter. You've taken a film and you put it through a Snapchat filter, and you're like, look, now it looks real.
Yeah, I mean, look, just go watch the original animated one. Like, this film is perfectly fine. I didn't have an issue watching it, but it's also just like, who the fuck cares? Like, who cares, honestly?
The original one is better because at least when you adapt a book, you're adapting something that doesn't like exist within that media.
Like a book is.
I'm so sick of people treating animated films as if it's a different form of media. It's a film.
Yeah,
it's a film just like a live action film. You've just remade a film. That's all you've done. Like,
yeah. I mean, again, do you have anything really to say? Like, look, the CGI. I'll say that the CGI is very good. Okay,
yeah, it looks great.
It looks great. And like, look, it's not as bad as like the Disney live action remakes, which actively ruin the material. It's fine. I give it a 6. Honestly, I don't really care for it.
Yeah, it's like a 5 for me. It's okay.
And then final film we're going to talk about this week, 28 Years Later. Now, I did not do an episode tying into this this year. However, I did do 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later on the podcast a few years ago. So I figured...
So go listen to that.
Look, go listen to that, because you'll get because people will get...
dynamic thoughts, yeah.
Yeah. Because I haven't watched 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later since I watched them for that podcast. I do intend to rewatch them and 28 Years Later, because the next one is out in like a couple of weeks. Honestly, it's out on like 14th, 15th of January. So I'm going to see that. But Harry, as has been established, maybe if you're new to the show, Harry doesn't like zombie. I mean, we already talked about this with Sinners. You don't like zombies.
And people go like, "Oh, you're a baby." Like, because I've spoken to someone about it, and they're like, "Oh, you're just scared." And I'm like, I'm not scared of zombies. I just don't like horror. Such a boring concept.
You don't like horror. You're not a horror person, which is fine. Not everyone is.
But there are horrors that I like. There are horror films.
I mean, that's the thing. There are horror films that you do like.
There are good horror films that, like, Alien. Like, if you want to say Jurassic Park, if you want, you can say, with The Shining. Like there are good horror films out there. I just think that like horror as a genre is so flooded with, and you could say the same about comedy. And I think they really well parallel each other.
I think it's very easy to do comedy and horror very badly. Like, it's very badly.
But it's it's a very hard thing to do well.
It's a very hard thing to do well, and they're both looked down on in genres. I think that's a real thing. Is I don't think people respect comedy in the way that they should.
But yeah, and I think you can use it as a parallel for like for example, zombies is a horror concept, and zombies is a comedy concept as well. Which I think has always been executed a little better than the horror concept, because like it's typically a horror concept, so to use it's like making a horror stoner movie. There are stoner comedies that are just sort of garbage, and like they're okay, but they're not like, they're pretty formulaic, and you know what you're going to get into whether you watch Mac and Devon Go to High School or if you watch, like there are good ones like Pineapple Express, but there are like stoner comedy as a genre, or like raunchy comedy is a genre,
or
and in the same way
comedies or
slapstick, and in the same way with horror, you've got fucking religious ones, which I hate the most, because it's like I do not give a fuck about The Nun or The Conjuring or like whatever. And I think zombie ones specifically can get incredibly like Did I watch this already?
I mean, the
But I
question is
think
with
20.
with the zombie films is it's kind of like what new can you do? Because it feels like they've kind of done it all already.
It's always a bit, and I'm going to mention this is leading into 28 years later. It's always some group of survivors, and turns out there is an infected that already like has made its way to the human. But I do think 28 years later is actually not that bad. I don't
mean,
think
do
it's a
you?
standout.
I mean,
I
yeah.
know
What do you, I mean?
I know
What do you
about the
think of like
production.
the 28 days later, 28 weeks later? Because I think you and I we've talked about them, and I think I said, and this is before they confirmed 28 years later was happening. I think I was saying, oh yeah, they're looking to do like a 28 months later film or something, and I think you were kind of dismissive of it, and you were like, oh, that's a bit like you weren't particularly interested.
Yeah, and with the same with the 28 years later, I think the big thing that wrote me in was hearing about the production of the film.
Hmm.
And Aaron Taylor
I was
Johnson,
gonna
if I was
say
correct.
your boy Aaron
But
Taylor Johnson is one of the main characters in it, and you're a
yeah, but
big
he's
fan.
shit. But he's shit in it. Like, and that's what I mean. He's not shit, but he's. And this whole episode I've been a whiny bitch, and it's because I'm disappointed. It's because I'm disappointed in the state of cinema. I think Aaron Taylor Johnson showed so much promise in. Someone press the bullet train button. Do a shot every time Harry says bullet train. I thought he was really strong in that, and he's always was strong in Kick Ass, like as a younger actor. And I just think that, like, with Craven the Hunter and with this film, and it's just like, oh, please don't become like just sort of a like you've got so much range. He's got so much dynamic range. Like he could be so strong with like a character like James Bond, for example. But I think that like, and he could be the man. He has everything he needs. He's hilarious and he's dynamic and he's brooding and he's great. He's got so much potential. But the last couple of few outings have just been pretty by the book action leader guy. And I'm just like, I want to see it from him. But like, I don't think that's entirely his fault. You can only do so much when you're like the lead in a zombie film about, again, a group of survivors on an island. I think the main thing wasn't this film all completely filmed on an iPhone?
Yes, which I
And I think is
genuinely
phenomenal.
I don't understand why they thought to do that, but yeah, they basically built a brand new rig and they rigged like 10, 15 iPhones on like a massive rig when like the zombies are like running and there's like those weird shots, like they rig like 15 iPhones on this massive rig.
I don't think it's overtly phenomenal in any way. I think it's just like it's a good entry to the series. If you're making another one, go ahead.
This is one of my most anticipated films of the year for me. I went in very high expectations and I really, really like this. I really love this film. I think it's an outstanding film of zombie. I think I enjoy zombie stuff more than and I am a big fan of Danny Boyle, the director. I think he's a very great director. I think Train Spotting is a great film. I like 127 Hours.
Yeah.
Yesterday is a great concept that I don't think is utilized that well,
I think
unfortunately.
we've spoken, yeah. Maybe not on record, but we've spoken about
Yeah, we've definitely spoken about Yesterday, I think. I really, really like this film. I was very, very happy with it. When I saw it, there were a lot of people laughing because you see some zombie penis in it, which I didn't expect, by the way. Which also is just very childish. Like,
yeah, it's kind of the way that they execute. Like, because I get it, right? Like, zombies, human bodies, they have dicks and vaginas and stuff. But it's like, okay.
I think Ralph Fiennes is a great actor. I think have we talked about Ralph Fiennes before?
Sorry?
Have we talked about Ralph Fiennes before in the podcast?
Ralph Fiennes, yeah, I think we have.
Relatively. I mean, yeah, I think we must have. We probably would have talked about it a little bit when we talked because when we did Die Hard, we talked about like great iconic villains, and I think we said Voldemort was in there. I really love Ralph Fiennes as an actor. I think he's an outstanding actor, and I think he's really good in this. I like how this film furthers the lore of this world. Like I do really like that. I thought there's a scene in the film where a zombie gives birth, which I thought was a choice I didn't see coming. I'm sure it's been done before, and I'm just like, this is very interesting. And we need to talk about the ending, because I think the ending rubs a lot of people the wrong way because they don't know what to make of it.
What do you make of it?
Well, first of all, I didn't see it coming. I had no. And then it happened, and I was just sort of sat there in the cinema, and I was like, do I like this or not? Because in the moment, I didn't know. That's just the thing. I didn't know if I don't dislike. I was like, it was that thing where it's like, I don't know what to make of it, really. Like, that's the thing, right? I don't think it was bad per se. I just didn't know how to feel about it, and I had to process it, really, because I was just like, I don't know what
Yeah.
I don't know what it like. Yeah, I don't dislike it. I think it's a very interesting choice, and I know a lot of people who really hate it, and I'm not completely surprised that a lot of people do, because it's a very weird, out there choice, and it does come from basically nowhere. But they seem to be focusing on those characters more in the next one, so I am interested in
Yeah.
seeing how they like address it and focus on it. Like I will. I'm very interested to see what they do with it.
It's like
Yeah, and they've got like they're dressed like Jimmy Savile, which is just
But I understand it of the point where it's like, yeah, like they grew up in the 90s. It was the last media they got. That's all they know.
yeah, and they
Well,
don't
we're
know that
definitely
Jimmy Savile
influenced by
is
the media around
hugely
us.
problematic, and they don't know about Jimmy Savile
Yeah,
being a horrendous person who did appallingly bad things.
it was a weird choice to pick Jimmy Savile as like the guy from that era. But
Yeah,
like they could have. There are a lot of very impactful pop people from that era that like. Yeah, it doesn't. Well, look, it doesn't matter. Yeah, well, but I just think that it sure it was. I didn't think it was that bad. Like I understand why people don't like the ending, but I just thought it was like kind of unique. It was unique. I liked
look,
that.
it was definitely different. It was unique, and I like it's something you don't really see, and maybe
Yeah,
that's just like worth something.
yeah. They're like essentially post-apocalyptic, like Lost Boys. I like it. Like I think there's a lot of discussion now that can be had about how media, like how much us as individuals are shaped by the media around us, and I think
Yeah,
that's quite a good
yeah.
good
No, I
topic.
think
But I
there's
just think
yeah.
like it is very clearly set up another film.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, the second film is going to be out, yeah, in like a couple of weeks. I might do an episode on it. Harry, you probably won't be on because you don't really care about these films, so that's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
But I mean, yeah, do you want to put a rating on this, or do you have any like final things you want to say?
yeah. I thought it was like a solid 7. I think like
Hmm.
if you're a fan of horror, give it a
Yeah,
watch.
no, I think
Um,
if you like horror movies, if you like zombie films especially, you will like this. But I think this does work for horror people.
yeah, it's a solid 7. I thought it was okay. Like for I guess like a third film, but not really. But like, and then it's also
It's
getting its
very
own
weird on how to
sequel.
like. Is it like the third film in the franchise, or is it the first film in like a new series? Like it's a whole yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's a thing. I get
yeah.
that, but I really really enjoyed it. I give it a really strong 8 out of 10. So that is the end of Review of the Year Part One. Very
Or review of the Dead Reckoning.
and then, so I hope you have enjoyed listening. Come back next week. We're going to be talking about some real big films. We're going to be talking about Superman. We're going to be talking about Fantastic Four. We're going to talk
Yes.
about Avatar 3, and then we've got some other lesser films that people probably don't care about, like the most recent Jurassic World film, Spinal
Oof.
Tap 2, Tron Air. Like
Yep.
we're gonna talk about some things
Yeah.
next week. Yeah, so look forward to that because we've got like it's. I think it's more films that we've covered this week. So I hope you've enjoyed listening. Thank you, Harry, for joining me.
Thank you for having me, of course, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. No, next time you listen to this, it'll be 2026. But I hope you will have a good new year. and we will see you in 2026 for the 6th year of this podcast.
Woo!
So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed listening, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.